My name is Angelina. I am 26 years old. When I say this now, my voice is calm, but it was not always calm. I lost something without touching anyone. I lost a dream I did not even know how to name. I did not understand it then. I wake up every morning before the sun. I sit on the edge of my bed. I listen to the quiet. I feel my heart beat slow and steady. This is how my days begin now. But years ago, my mornings were full of waiting for a message, waiting for a look, waiting for love to choose me. I grew up believing love would arrive one day. Not loud, not fast, just sure. I believed it would feel right. I believed my body would know. I believed my heart would be ready. I believed waiting was not a problem. I believed love respected waiting. I was 20 when I first thought love had found me. His name was Daniel. He was quiet. He smiled with his eyes. He did not touch much. That felt safe to me. I liked safe. We met at work. I sat at a small desk by the window. He sat across from me. We shared coffee breaks. We shared silence. Sometimes our hands touched when we passed papers. My skin noticed everything. My heart stayed still, but alert. He never asked me for more. I never offered more. I thought this was respect. I thought this was love moving slowly. I told myself I was lucky. At night, I lay in bed and imagined a future. I imagined a first kiss that meant something. I imagined a first time that was gentle. I imagined his face close to mine. I imagined patience. But time kept moving. Months passed, then a year. We were together, but also not together. We held hands, we watched movies, we talked about work. We did not talk about us. One evening, rain fell hard outside. We sat in his car, the windows fogged. My heart was loud. I waited. He did not move closer. He talked about the rain. That was not the hardest part. The hardest part was my silence. I did not ask why. I did not ask what we were. I was afraid to break something fragile. I did not see that it was already broken. When he left my life, he did not leave with pain. He left with kindness. He said I was good. He said I was special. He said he met someone else. He said it gently. I smiled. I wished him well. I went home alone. I cried without sound. After Daniel, I started to feel different. Not sad, just small, like I was standing behind a glass wall. I could see love on the other side. I could not touch it. People around me moved forward. They married, they shared stories, they laughed about mistakes. They spoke freely about bodies and nights. I listened, I nodded, I stayed quiet. Someone once asked me why I waited. I said I was careful. That was true, but not complete. The truth was softer and heavier. I was waiting to be chosen without asking. I was waiting to be wanted without risk. I was waiting for love to arrive perfect. At 24, I met Samuel. He was warm. He laughed easily. He looked at me like I mattered. That look stayed with me. We talked every day. We shared lunch. We shared stories. He asked questions. I answered honestly. He listened. One evening, he held my hand longer than needed. My body reacted. My breath changed. I felt awake. He told me he liked me. He did not rush. He did not push. He waited for my words. That scared me more than silence. I told him I was still a virgin. The words felt heavy in my mouth. I waited for surprise. I waited for judgment. I waited for him to leave. He stayed quiet for a moment. Then he nodded. He said thank you for trusting him. Nothing else. That night, I walked home slowly. I felt light and afraid at the same time. I had spoken a truth. I did not know what would happen next. Weeks passed. We grew closer. We kissed. It was gentle. It was real. My heart learned a new rhythm. One night, sitting on his couch, I knew. Not that I was ready, but that I was allowed to choose. I was allowed to say yes. I was allowed to say not yet. That was the turning moment. Not my body, my mind. I realized my waiting was not about purity. It was about fear. Fear of being seen, fear of being touched and known. I told him I needed time. He accepted it. No anger, no pressure, just presence. Months later, our relationship ended. Not because of my waiting, because life changed, because paths moved apart. I was sad, but I was not empty. Looking at myself differently then. I did not feel behind anymore. I felt aware. Now I am 26. I still wake before the sun. I still sit on the edge of my bed. I still listen to the quiet. I am still a virgin, and I am not ashamed. I understand now. Love is not something that takes from me. Love is something I step into when I am ready. The waiting is no longer heavy. It is calm, like a closed door that I hold the key to. At night, I imagine the future again. Not perfect, just honest. I see myself opening that door one day, not because time pushed me, but because my heart said yes. I turn off the light. The room is quiet. My breath is steady. I rest in my own time.